The bear dragged the bride into a forest cave. The bear who liked girls. A very sad and interesting story. There was a bear that lived in the jungle. He had an unusual attraction to girls. Whenever he was in the jungle and saw them, he would run toward them. The girls would always run away, which strangely saved the bear from any further trouble. One day, a female forest officer came to the jungle. When she saw the bear running toward her, she quickly rushed to her car and drove away to safety. The next day, the officer called all the forest employees and asked about the bear. They told her that the bear chased girls but ran away whenever a man came near. The forest officer was worried about the bear's behavior. She ordered the employees to find the bear and lock him up. They searched the forest for days but could not find him. They finally returned and told the officer that they had searched everywhere with no luck. The officer was angry and concerned. She thought, what if the bear goes to the nearest village? He might hurt someone. She ordered her employees to search the village. They went to the village, but the bear was not there either. They came back and reported their failure. The next day, the officer went back to the place where she had seen the bear before. She saw the bear again. She quickly got into her car and saved herself. She called the employees and told them to catch the bear. The bear, however, quickly ran away and hid. The bear had learned a lesson. If he went out, people would try to catch him. He stayed hidden. When the employees still could not find him, the officer gave a terrible command. If you see the bear anywhere, kill him immediately. After a few days, the bear was starving. He knew that if any human saw him, he would be killed. That night, the bear crept out of his cave and went toward the village. When he arrived, he saw a wedding ceremony. Everyone was enjoying themselves, and the bride was sitting alone on a decorated platform. The bear was happy to see the bride. He rushed over. The girl tried to scream, but the bear jumped onto the platform, covered her mouth, and dragged her into the jungle, all the way to his cave. The bride was terrified. She cried and screamed, but she was helpless. Every night the bear went out and brought fruits for the girl. She ate the fruits and cried. Then every night after she finished eating, the bear started his ritual. He would lick the girl's feet because he had a strange love for licking girls' feet. After a few days of this, the girl grew thin and fell ill. The villagers and the groom searched everywhere for the bride, days and night, but they could not find her. They searched for days and finally lost all hope, fearing she had been killed by the wild animal. Days turned into weeks. One day the bear returned to his cave and saw that the girl was tired, confused and sad. He decided to bring her back. He picked up the girl's lifeless body and carried her all the way back to the village. He threw the bride's body near her house. A few people who were awake saw the bear and the body and were terrified. They screamed and ran. When the groom heard the commotion and saw his bride's dead body, his sorrow turned into a fierce, uncontrollable rage. He grabbed a big, heavy stick and charged at the bear, crying with pain and anger. The bear, already weak and shocked by the girl's death and the man's terrifying approach, did not run this time. The groom began hitting the bear again and again with all his strength. The bear fell to the ground and died with a final sad roar. The silence that followed was heavy and terrible. The villagers gathered around the two dead bodies, the bride and the bear. The forest employees arrived soon after, seeing the brutal end to their search. The bear was dead, but the victory felt meaningless. The female officer felt a cold wave of guilt. Her order to kill the bear and her failure to catch it earlier had ended in a young woman's death. She realized the bear had not intended to kill the girl. He had only wanted her companionship in his strange way, but his actions were still dangerous and tragic. The next day, the bride was finally laid to rest. The groom, hailed by some as a hero for killing the monster, was a broken man. He lost his bride, and the image of her wasted body and the violence he used to get revenge haunted him every single night. He could never again look at the surrounding jungle without remembering the screams and the final quiet horror of that night. The forest officer was later moved to a different post, and the incident became a grim local legend. A story about a strange bear, a foolish order, and the terrible price paid by the innocent bride and her devastated groom. The jungle remained silent, but the story of the bear who liked girls was whispered in the village for generations.